Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cabaret Hotspot. Today, I have a dear old friend. Not old, but old as in long time. We like to think of ourselves as spring-like and young. But anyway, I've known this gentleman for 30 years. He gave me my first booking out in PA at Odette's. Please welcome Mr. Bob Egan. Hi,
Hey
Bob.
Sue,
How
it's
are
just a treat
you?
to be on your show after all these years. You look the same. You look great.
No, I don't look the same, but that's okay. I'll take it. But I appreciate it. But 30 years is 30 years. You, however, do look the same. I swear to God, I want whatever you're drinking.
Water.
Yeah. Actually, that is the best thing for you. So, Bob, you have been featured on Cabaret Hotspot every Wednesday and Friday at 8 o'clock. You have what you're calling your virtual piano bar. And it's a little bit different from the way other people conduct piano bars in that I think you play for your guests, right? So, how is
Yeah,
this working out?
it's Wednesday and Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Did I say Friday?
yeah,
That's
that's
Eddie.
okay.
That's Eddie
We,
Bruce's show, another friend of
yeah,
ours.
that's okay because I promote Eddie on mine too. Um,
Wednesday and
I
Sunday at 8 o'clock.
yeah. I started out on Sunday, and the first week was such a big hit that producers of it I work with said, please do 2 nights a week. And I also, one of the reasons why I wanted to do 2 nights a week is over all the years I've worked with so many singers.
Mm.
And I thought if I only do one show a week, that's only, nine, say, singers that I get to work with a week. And I said, I got a lot of people I have to, and my mix is big.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it's a lot of work doing 2 shows a week because of the way I do it. It's a lot more
Explain how
work.
you're doing it because you and I are I'm going to be guesting on your show. So I'm asking for that purpose as well.
So what I say at the beginning of my show, I say up front every time is that what the show really is if you came into a piano bar where I was playing, well, see, let me go back one more step because when I had Odette's with the cabaret for 21 years, I played and I also had the cabaret and then I had the piano bar and I had my weddings and everything going on. As the cabaret thing closed, as Odette's had flooded and closed, and I had another cabaret thing that didn't last very long because the building was sold. It was a long, ugly story. I really pushed my open mic format so that I try to brand what I do as this open mic thing so that I could still continue the Odette's feel that everybody has a place. In other words, like at Odette's, you came and you could sing at the piano with me. You could sing with the crowd. And then maybe you could work your way to doing a showcase. And then you could maybe work your way up to doing your own show, like Gene Kavanaugh. Remember him?
I do. I
He,
do.
he started from the ground and went all the way up to being a featured weekend performer. The reason why I really am passionate about the open mic thing is that I get to give a lot of people stage time. Singers need to sing. Artists need to paint, sculptors need to sculpt. We need to do our craft.
Hmm.
So the only way the singers are going to get better is to keep doing it. And even when they do my open mics, I still, even if they're not working with me, I say, listen, let's do that song again in like 2 weeks when you come back. And I'm going to take the key down because you really need to go. And let me do, I'll give them hints. All I want for my singers is for them to get better and to grow. I always say, I don't care when singers come in, how good they are. But what I do care is when a year goes by that they've been coming in and they have learned nothing. They haven't gotten any better. And that I just want to see the same passion I had about the cabaret of seeing people grow. I try to do that in my open mics. So the point with the show is that I want to bring to everybody watching what you would get if you came and sat in the audience at Bowman's Tavern in New Hope or Moonstruck in Asbury Park or the Asbury Hotel or any of these places I do the open mic. So I wanted to bring that to the show. Now, what was challenging was that when this all first started, the quarantine, I don't know, I just froze up because I thought all my friends are getting out there playing and singing. I don't sing. I mean, I some people think I sing, but I don't sing. I suck. That's why I always like singers because I never felt I was a good singer, and so I love singers. I want to make I love singers, and I was in a panic because I thought, how am I going to do this? I can't have singers coming over. I mean, singing's as bad as sneezing and coughing, as far
Well,
as
worse in some cases with the
and
mics
worse
and
as
yeah,
far
yeah.
as what they consider,
Right.
healthy right now
Mhm.
in this social distancing. So there's no social distancing with having singers over. although since then I found a little solution. I found a little setting outside that works, and we did a
Mhm.
couple things that worked really well. But you know, we only have a couple more months of that, and then we won't be able to do that. So what happened was about 6 weeks into it, my friend John Richardson called me from Provincetown and said, "You know, I have an idea." He says, you can think your thing can work. You just have to record their songs, get them to them, and then they have to come from one place." And I said, "Yeah, I always kind of knew that, but I thought that's going to be a lot of work." And then I thought, you know what? One of the when I first started the cabaret, I remember running into somebody who had tried a cabaret in Philadelphia that it only ran like a year, and I guess it was a success, but he stopped doing it. And I ran into him one day and I said, "Alan, this cabaret thing is really hard. It's a lot of work." He said, "Bob," he says, anything worth doing is a lot of work."
And worth
And
doing right.
worth doing right. And that's the, you know, I don't care what it takes. It's just, I want it to be right. I want it to be the best. I want the singers to sound the best. I want everything to look the best. I don't want to do anything half-assed. So the way the show works is that I've always, for my singers, I've always made recordings for them on my on my digital keyboard right into GarageBand. I've made like a track so that they can take me home, so to speak, and actually play that over and over and get, you know, and be able to practice with it. Not just necessarily like a rehearsal tape, but an actual digital, you know, recording that if they had to go sing for their, you know,
They could still use
grandparents
it, yeah.
or something, they could actually put it into a little boombox and they've got me right there. So I just continued doing that, and I started just shipping them out to my singers. And I said, "Here's the story. You get, you know, we'll work out the track over the phone. You get the song, and you've got to make a recording." And that's really how it works. It's a lot more involved in that because most of us, even people like you and a lot of us that worked on performed all the time. Well, the one thing we never did, we didn't sit around making videos.
Right.
We were out singing in front of people. And so the whole process of like making videos and having, you know, knowing how to put the camera and knowing about the lighting and knowing how to follow the track, because it's
even
reversed.
something as simple as like I'm looking at you, so my eyes on the video are here, but I have to look at the camera here in order to sing to my audience. There's, you know, David Sabell and I, who wrote So You Want to Sing Cabaret, we're dealing with this whole new paradigm of how to sing and perform as if it's this, because it's not. I
feel like after the last 2 months, I could teach a course on it almost, because of what I've learned. And, you know, I keep telling my singers, I'm going to talk about it on my show this weekend. I mean, tomorrow night, actually, I'm going to, because they've all got to buy that thing called the ring light. It's like the best thing you can have. It's lighting, and it holds your phone, which always has to be horizontal.
I have it right here.
Lighting. I have mine there, but I don't need it because it's kind of bright. I think I have enough light, right?
Yes, you do. You're fine.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that plum background too. It's gorgeous.
Sometimes the bright light shows more than I wanted to show. So, it's about, so a lot of it's an education process.
Right.
Now, some of my singers that have been on several times have gotten really good at it. And now they're like hot dogging it. They're like doing a green screen, or they're doing like, they're being creative. They're being fun, because this is all about being entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring the piano bar into people's home at any length. And I want them to see a variety of music. One of my platforms always is breaking the stigma that piano bars and cabarets were just about, it was just Broadway and just about old songs for old people. And I said, no, cabaret is about intimacy. It's an intimate performance. It's about any kind of music. It could be folk, it could be country, it could be something blues, it could be pop, it could be anything. It's just, it's about the room. It's not about the style of music. Yeah. So what I've always tried to do with my show is have everything from like Alicia Keys to Gershwin to, you know, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and everything in between, and country.
Well, the American Songbook is expanding to include others than just the writers you and I grew up with from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, in terms of that was what the songbook was considered. But now, I mean, the Beatles are becoming, everything's coming under a bigger umbrella. And for me, if I go to a variety show, I want variety. So I think that that's fantastic. Who are you having on tomorrow night? Who's your lineup?
Tomorrow night. So what I do is Sunday's an eclectic open mix. I have whatever it is, and it ends up all over the map. And I loved the last Sunday show. It was so fun. You can always go back and watch whatever you missed.
On your Facebook page, right?
On Facebook or on YouTube Live.
Okay, great.
You just have to look for Virtual Piano Bar and you'll see my picture.
Good.
You know, and then you have the right show.
Yeah, you have a great graphic for that whole branding part of it. You did a good job branding it.
Thanks. That's a lot of John Richardson and Jonathan Hawkins. That was all them. They set a lot of this up. So what I do on Wednesday nights is they wanted me, and I think it's fun. I used to do this in Asbury Park a lot, and I did it at Odette's too. I have theme nights.
Oh, good.
So Wednesday's always a theme. So far we've had like Burt Bacharach night, we had Beatles, we had 60s twice, because I love the 60s.
Yeah.
I could do 60s once a month. And in the summer, I feel like 60s is a good feel.
It's beach feel,
you know?
yeah.
I grew up with the transistor radio listening to the beat goes on, you know, and so like I love the 60s. And so tomorrow night I did a show at McClune's in Asbury Park probably 10 years ago called Billy, Barry, and Elton.
Oh, very
Obviously,
nice.
Billy Joel, Barry Manilow, and Elton John. Because I think the reason is that doing a Barry Manilow show would be like doing a Carpenter show. It's like they're all great songs, but there's a lot of ballads.
Right.
So where's the snappy, you know, like
right.
how can I vary the show? So I think we mixed Barry with Billy and Elton for that reason. So tomorrow night's Billy, Barry, and Elton.
Super.
A lot of my performers for tomorrow night are local. They're more like Bucks County and New Jersey performers. Two of them went all out. Two of them, what they did with their videos is going to blow you away. Obviously, it wasn't it's like their third or fourth time on the show. Mm-hmm. And I think these two are in competition to get on MTV.
You've created little mini monsters, huh?
Well, this is their thing now. They're passionate about being techie and about creating something really entertaining because they watch the show too.
So I listened to you and you sound like a teacher to me. I mean, your generosity from the time I've known you, from years ago, sitting in your piano bar, you know, as a singer coming to Odette's who nobody knew me in PA, allowing me to have a spot at the piano bar so that your regulars can get to know me so that they would come see my show. You've always been an organizer and a teacher. Is your musical background an academic teaching background?
I did, when I first got out of well, I guess around my second year of college, I made my living three ways. I was already working. I was teaching piano lessons. I took an organist and choir director position at a church, and I played at a piano bar on Friday and Saturday nights. And then when I started playing that piano bar more and more, I realized that my major needed to change. I did not want to be a teacher in the school system. I wanted to be with people. But I still kept teaching piano, but I did not want, so I changed my major to performance because I realized that was not going to be me. I was not going to be in a classroom. I didn't want to be a classical performer that spent all month rehearsing for one recital. I just wanted to work all the time and be around people. So I've always
got the best of both worlds. You've got your following, you're still teaching by example.
It's always been, I don't know why it's been my passion, but I tell you, sometime when we have time, I'll tell you the story. My house, I don't know if you ever came to the house in New Hope.
No.
My house is I have a 302-year-old stone farmhouse that I found 35 years ago. And the woman decided to sell it to me. She had 7 better qualified buyers than me, but she wanted me to have it. And it had to do with the fact that I had nurtured one of her students in high school. And I never knew this, but when I featured him to sing in my church in the summer, I had no idea that changed his life. And she was in the audience. And 7 years later, or 6 years later, she remembered that's who I was. And she told the real estate agent, she said, I want him to have the house.
Well, no good turn goes unpunished.
So I just believe in karma. I really believe in what you give, you get, you know, and I want to help people. And I you know, my passion is that someday somebody may be able to be at the Grammys or something and say, you know, Bob Egan gave me my start. But, you know, like 3 years ago, do you remember the Simon and Garfunkel boys that I used to have at Odette's a lot?
Yes. Yes.
They started that show, AJ Swearingen and Jonathan Beadle. They started that show at Odette's. Well, on the 10th year or 20th year anniversary of the show, they were with the Philly Pops.
Wow.
And they were sold out for the whole weekend with the Philly Pops. And I got to go. And they didn't even, I don't think they even knew I was there. And they said, no, I think someone did tell them I was there. They said, we want to thank the person who's in the audience that gave us our start. I said to them later, I said, that may be my Grammy. That's it. That's the only.
But that's what really counts, Bob. So did you have, I mean, you clearly have become a mentor to people. Did you have a mentor that gave you a piece of sage advice that you've carried through with you, either professionally or personally? And do you pass that on to people in your life?
I had so many. I've been really lucky that I had a lot. I had like 6 or 7 people that just came across my life. One of which was my piano teacher in college, David Sokoloff, an amazing human being. And he just took me under his wings. When I first met him, I didn't qualify to be one of his students, but he said, "I'll give you a chance." And I worked my butt off. And he used to give me so many little pieces of advice along the way. I mean, the one I always remember that's coming to mind now is not like all the serious ones. It's a funny one. He said, because he was a classical musician, but what he wanted me to have the life that he turned down. Mm. He stayed with his life as a teacher in a classical because he got married and had kids, and his wife would never allow him playing in piano bars or restaurants. And he loved that I was doing, I think he always loved that I was doing the life that would have been the other turn for him. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, whenever you're playing something and you improvise, he said, if you hit a wrong note, he would show me like something, right? He said, hit it again. And then people will think it was intentional.
It's like that old saying, you make a mistake, do it in 3s, jazz.
Yes.
Right? That's so funny. So listen, this has been great. And I'm so glad that you can stop by and spend some time with us. I want to encourage everyone, just look right here on Cabaret Hotspot, Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. here, Facebook Live or YouTube. Look for Virtual Piano Bar, Bob Egan, and watch a show and maybe contact Bob if you want to do something with him. So
that's the other thing, Sue, is we can do them. I can connect with people. The plus of all this with the quarantines, because of the way I'm doing the show, I can connect with friends of mine that moved to Mexico.
Well, that's the beauty. There is beauty in all this thing.
There's no boundaries now.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, I love you so much. I'm so glad to see you again. And we'll see you online very soon. And I'm going to be guest starring very soon with Bob.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
We're talking about what song we're doing as we speak. So take care, Bob. Nice to see you.